Hello, everybody. How are you today? We are in my nice green room with my plants and guitars, ukulele and guitar behind me. And today's video is how to lower your social anxiety and improve your social skills so you can be more fun in your conversations and express yourself the way that you want to do. And so, one of the biggest things that I get from comments or people asking me personally is they're maybe okay in one-on-one conversations, but they're not okay in group settings. Um, and I just want to explain why this is happening. And it's a good principle, a general rule that you can use in all your social settings or going forward in your life. And so, if you want to lower your social anxiety, you have to understand what that is and where it's coming from. And so at the end of the day, your social anxiety is just the fear of judgment that you have from expressing yourself around others. And so your social anxiety by yourself should be fairly low. You should be able to express yourself and be okay by yourself. And so this is why a lot of people with maybe this tendency like to be by themselves, like are more introverted or uh, more into things that you don't do with like other people, right? Video games. I love video games. But it's also understanding and having the ability to connect with others in person too. And so if you don't have that two sides to it and you're just, introverted, well that's not really going to benefit you in your life, right? You need both sides for that to happen. And if your social anxiety is so high, you can't connect to people in real life, that's not a good thing, right? And then to improve your social skills, so you don't know what to say or you don't know what to bring up, or you don't have the confidence to start a conversation. Well, that's again switching your mindsets. And so if your mindset, and I talk to a lot of people, right? Your mindsets, a lot of people's mindset are just baseline negative, neutral, negative at best, negative, neutral at best, where that's not going to serve you in any way. If you believe like I can't go up to that person even though that person's alone, looking bored. It would be totally like fun for me and that other person. If we had a fun conversation, I was interested in that other person. I could bring some of my own stories. I had my own value to give. Like those are the mindsets I have. Those are the mindsets that you kind of need to be able to go up and have the confidence to talk to another person. If your base mindset is, oh, I can't because he or she is looks busy and I'm not looking my best and no one would like me either and I'm probably a burden wasting their time. Well, that is a mindset that I used to have and served no good in my life, only very negative. Missed opportunities, um, messed up opportunities. Like it just doesn't do you any well. Like even when people want to connect to you, you're not able to connect back. And so those are all stemming from the mindsets. And then also like the knowledge that you have of how to have a good conversation. And so there's some people who have maybe not the best family unit, who don't have the best relationships with other people. And so they just don't have or hadn't had the experience of just talking that much. I remember at a lot of family gatherings or things like that, like I would just be by myself. I'd rather be by myself on my YouTube, watching some videos, other than kind of like talking to the other people. I didn't really relate to them, right? And then it's kind of that same nature with your family then goes into school, goes into other places, and that's just how you identify as. And if you don't have someone to, or any person that you can have a good conversation with or talk with, and you're not even going to have a concept of what that is to bring to other people, right? And so some people have some decent relationships with their family, decent relationships with their friends somewhat, but and so they understand how to have a conversation, but they just can't bring that to maybe new people or someone that they like. Then their fear of judgment goes really high. That social anxiety goes really high. And so it's about lowering that, which is going to make you confident. Confidence is not a real thing. Confidence is like, it's like it's like a shadow. Like it's not, it's like it's real. Like I can see the shadow, but it's not a physical thing. It's just like the blockage of light in a particular pattern. And so that blockage when it comes to your personality is like those subconscious mindsets that you have when you were smaller, and you got a look from your parents or someone when you did something wrong, or like I remember one from first grade where like I told the truth about something to the teacher, and like it was like outlandless. I don't even know how to say that, outlandish, but it was the truth. But like she just didn't believe me. I told some other kid. I said some other kid like ripped open my hand, put something inside of it, and put it back together, and then like it was such a long time ago, right? But I told it, and it was literally the truth, but she didn't believe me, and I still got in trouble. I was like, oh fuck that shit, right? And that's just like something that from so long ago kind of like sticks with you. Okay, even if I do, something did happen to me, and it was the truth. Me speaking up is not going to make any difference, right? So next time, maybe I just don't speak up at all. I just accept the negative punishment that's going to happen afterwards, right? Um, and that could lead to like a lot of people pleasing, especially at home if you had your case or had your own opinions, but they were just like never taken or just like put down a lot of the time. And you're like, okay, my opinions and judgment don't really matter at the end of the day. Um, that just seeps into a lot of other things, right? And so you have a high fear of judgment, and then it's also hard for you to express those opinions and get them out there because you're expecting some negativity from that, some disagreement from that, right? And people who can only bring negativity to conversations are like really not fun to talk to. They're even worse than like people who aren't talkative at all. So people are always complaining, people who are just with this negative energy in their body language, they're like ugh, right? And it's because people have these mirror neurons transmitters in people's brains and shit, right? So if I'm around someone, another person, I'm going to start absorbing a little bit of their energy, and I'm going to start feeling that in myself. And so if someone's really confident and fun, and they have a good time about themselves, that energy that they have with them is going to be spread onto me, and I'm going to start feeling that way. But it goes in the negative too. And so if you're super kept up and you're not that loose and you're not that like you're not able to express yourself, that is going to come to that other person. And that's happening because at like at even a more primitive level, if I'm talking to you and I'm like very nervous in my voice and I'm very stifled and I'm very held back, that's showing two things. It's showing, first, I don't believe in myself and what I'm saying, like you shouldn't believe. And then it's also kind of showing like this isn't safe. Because why would I be talking to you in such a nervous type of way, or why would I be so stifled or held up talking to you if this was like a normal thing that is totally okay? Like I should be talking to you like anybody else, and that would show you, okay, this is like a normal okay thing. But now you're nervous and you're stifled and you're tight. At just like a very base primitive form, people are like, okay, there's something off here, and they don't even get to hear the message because they can only focus on like, why is this energy here? you know if you were talking to someone with that kind of like nervousness back in those days, caveman times, like maybe I would come and kill you, right? And so you have to have like your friend would be talking to you very normally, but so maybe someone else came along, they were kind of nervous because they're like, okay, I'm about to hit this guy in the fucking head, maybe about to kill this guy, I'm gonna have some nervous energy about me. And so like it's just saying like, what is up here? And that is all coming in your body language, and the mindsets that you have affect your words too, affect them in not expressing them, but affects more your sub communications, tonality, eye contact, posture, facial expressions. And those affect them in the dynamic in which you express that. And so when you're by yourself and there's no one watching, whoa, very loosey goosey, my voice is very free flowing, I'm very like, I don't really run out of things to say, I'm okay right now, right? But then when I'm maybe there's like four other people watching me, now it's a much different thing. Now there's just one other person in the room. Now it's a completely different thing because now I feel like I'm getting judged in a negative way. And so I don't express myself at all as to not be seen. Because if I was seen, I'm going to get hurt. And so that's like the basis of where that anxiety is coming from, that fear of judgment is coming from. And that your confidence isn't really existent. It's just like, how low is your fear of judgment? And then also, are you competent? So you can be very confident and very expressive, but you can also be a moron idiot who just like doesn't understand social cues and is not doing it because he's actually confident in himself. He's doing it because he just lacks social awareness. And so there's two sides to that, having competence and then the lower fear of judgment. And so those are the two things that, people have to work on. And the competence isn't more so, again, the words, it's again the energy, right? If you're just like very flamboyant and just super wacky silly all the time, that's going to turn some people off in their energy. There's been people where like maybe you're just, the energy is too intense that you're giving. You're just right, and it's a whole bunch of things, right? And so it's being competent to the moment in which you're in. I'm not at a class or in a lecture or at my job or at my work having the same energy I am on a Saturday night partying my face out, right? So there's two different types of energy that you would bring to situations. Um yeah. And so that social anxiety is that part, lowering and being okay expressing yourself in front of maybe one person, two people, in front of a whole bunch of people. And the way that you're going to get better at that is by doing it in micro steps. And so you have to understand that where these patterns are coming from that are holding you back, the patterns that and the stories that you tell yourself is like, I can't express myself because of this. And so a whole bunch of them are for a whole bunch of reasons. I'm not tall enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not the right race. My name's not cool enough. I'm not cool enough. I'm not good enough. Uh, this thing is ugly about me. And those are like, some of the things I just listed right there are things that kind of stop you from going up and talking to a person. Those are some things that I had to go through too, right? And a lot of the people that I work with, those are the type of things that their mindsets are when they go to talk to people. And then even deeper than that, when you're in a relationship with people or you're talking about deeper things, it's like, I'm not good enough to talk to you in this type of way because of when I was a child, I wasn't talked to in this type of way. And so I haven't experienced that and I don't know how to give that energy yet. And so those types of things that you have to be okay with, and the social anxiety and that fear of judgment at that level starts to come out too. Right, but you don't have to be okay with like your deepest insecurity to be able to talk to another person. But you do have to be kind of okay with your deepest insecurity if you want a very good relationship with the close people around you, right? Yourself included in that. And so that fear of judgment comes from the insecurities that you have and you not being okay with those insecurities that you have, keeping you from not expressing yourself around other people because they may see those insecurities and call you out on them. And you can't handle that. You can't handle that because you never grew up with an environment that would allow you or give you the tools needed to handle that. Whew. And then the social skills part is like, okay, so how do I be fun in a conversation? How do I not run out of things to say? And just earlier today, I'll use the example from my dentist. Like, I'm not able to talk the entire time because I have a whole bunch of shit in my mouth. But when I don't have that shit in my mouth, like, I ask questions here and there. And also, I'm not always talking. There is silence in the room. I'm not yapping. I just ask a question when I feel like it. And it goes for a while. I ask a follow up question. Um, Maybe she said something about herself. So I'll give you an example. Very basic questions. This is what people do so much. They overthink it. They overcomplicate it, and so that's why the fear of judgment's like more of the harder part. Um, so you just ask, like I just asked like, oh, so where are you from? I can tell you have a little bit of an accent. Are you Middle Eastern at all? She's like, yeah, I'm Syrian and Bulgarian. I tell a little story about that. I know a lot of Syrian people, not too many Bulgarian people, but yeah, I could tell just from the accent. And yeah, just the look. A lot of Syrian people are like that. Just some like the most stupid comment ever. Like, was there any sophistication in that? Not really, but it's just to keep the conversation going, right? And then she can respond with a little bit. The doctor came into the room just to check up on me, so she was the hygienist. Doctor came in. Hey, how you doing, boss? You doing anything recently? No, not myself. How about you? Watch any good movies? Making it more specific to him. He told me he's watched this TV show, the Yellowstone, and I thought he was talking about Yellowstone Park. So I was like, oh, like the park Yellowstone? He's like, oh no, not that, something else. It's like, okay. He asked me like again what video games I'm playing. I don't know if I talked about that in this video. um Told a little story about you know me and my friends playing a video game, it's just like fun stuff like that. It's not like not serious at all, but like that's the fun playful conversation that is people want to be part of. Like they don't want to talk about this super, oh, so how was your job, how was your work, how long have you been here, oh, that's amazing, yeah, that's beautiful. Like, no, they want to talk about like the feelings that they had buying a new dress, or like the feelings that they had playing a fun game, or watching a show, or why they like that show, like stuff like that, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't start off with those boring questions. Like a boring question, how long have you been here for? Like, I ask that question all the time, but I go deeper. I just don't stop there. I keep the conversation going. So ask boring questions to start the conversation, but um, add your own stuff into it later, and don't always just follow up for question, 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 boring question, right? Follow up, add your own stuff like that. And then it's like, as I'm in that conversation, like jokes naturally come to me. Funny remarks just naturally come to me. And so when they do come to me, they don't always do. And so when they don't, I don't say anything. But when they do, I'll put it out there if I think it's good or I think it's fun enough. Um, and then things maybe like analogies, just like active listening to what that other person is saying, things like that, being engaged, holding eye contact, having good sub communications, or relaxedness in my voice. Like all these things are just happening because the mindsets are there first of all, and I've put in the reps before, and so I know like how to communicate with that fear of judgment being lowered, right? And I understand all the things going on, and so I'm now able to have a good conversation with the receptionist there, the hygienist there, the doctor there. I come in next time, like we just build off that stuff. We can talk a bit more about some of the things we talked about last time. Maybe some callback jokes now. See what they're up to now. See if there's anything going on later in their day, later in their week, and that's how you start building like connections. And it kind of happens over time, and it's a very simple thing to do, but it's just so hard to do because it involves expressing yourself in a way, um, and assuming the positive afterwards, right? Which is, we have to flip that base mindset that you have. So that's been this video. I hope you guys like it. If you need more help, my Instagram's down below. You can follow that. Drop any personal questions that you have, or you could book a call with me personally for my one-on-one coaching. And with that, guys, peace out. Bye. Love you.